I'm a student at Loughborough University, and most of you probably don't even know what that is, but it's pretty cheap. And if you know me in real life, I am also pretty cheap and don't like spending money. So naturally, I thought it would be fun to react to a student living in London expenses video. And if it turned out not to be fun, then you probably aren't seeing this. Or you are, it's just not a great video. Moving on, this person is called Maddie, and I'll put her channel here, a picture of it anyway, and I'll also leave the link to it in the description below and a link to her Instagram as well, so feel free to go and check the actual video out and her channel. Now to the video. Also bear with me, not done one of these before, so we'll see how it goes.
Hello everyone, my name is Maddie and I'm a student in London. You guys have asked repeatedly what it costs to be a student in a big city like London. I tracked all my expenses for a week, including my bills, including my food expenses, my eating out, my coffees, my matchas, all that stuff.
Love the music.
This video is sponsored by Surfshark.
This video is not sponsored by Surfshark, but I actually use Surfshark, so if they want to sponsor it.
So let's just go through the list of everything that I just can't live without, basically.
Okay.
First, for rent, I spend £270.
Rent per week, £270 a week. Gonna get the calculator out. Do you want to know how much my accommodation was in my second year of uni? I think it was 3,200 for a year. However, by the looks of it, it does have quite a nice place, and if you're a YouTuber, you need a nice space to do it, and it's London, so.
0.5 to 11 a month.
£10 a month for your phone. What phone do you have?
Phone bills are, I would say, relatively cheap in difference to Norway. Like, I used to spend £35 on like 8 gigabytes, and now I'm getting a lot more than that for 10.
Maybe it's from
and last but not least, for the
£4.7
on the boards.
288. Let's do that for a year. Wow, that's 14,976 for the whole year. So that's spending 15 grand a year on rent and bills that go with it. That is a lot. Still loving this music.
Package I pay, the total cost of my subscriptions are £10.85.
£10 a week, so 40 quid, well 44, just under £44 a month. That's really not too bad. I feel like it could be a lot worse.
What does it actually cost to buy food, eat out, to drink coffee every day? Not that I do that.
Am I the, well, YouTuber, am I the only person that doesn't like coffee? Every YouTuber has a clip of them making a coffee in every video. Every video. Not here. You won't find that here. Waitrose. Waitrose. It's not a very student-friendly shop. Those of you that don't know Waitrose, it's like the supermarket rankings in regard of poshness. You got Waitrose at the top, and then Aldi and Lidl at the bottom, probably. So already Waitrose. Interesting. I mean, if you got the money for it, fair enough.
Total, on Tuesday, I spent £13.48.
As far as that goes, pretty cheap for shopping in Waitrose. £3 for a baguette thing. That looks alright, to be fair. I'd have that. Let's be annoying and look through the necessities shop. £2 for white, well, I'm assuming that's white bread. And some Waitrose rolls, £2.25. You could definitely get them a lot cheaper in like Aldi, Lidl. Digestives, I mean, digestives are nice, but going for the brands. Dettol wipes, £5. Right, could probably save a little bit of money there, but you know, if you like your brands and you got the money for it, then.
I'm not actually super hungry, but I'm gonna make some pasta with pesto.
Student staple, pesto pasta.
Really nice.
£13. I'd never, is it acai bowl or acai? Either way, never really had one. Looks like it could be nice though, but £13 for lunch is quite expensive. £3.50 on a coffee. See, drink water guys. Save £3.50 every time. Ooh. However, that does look pretty nice. A ramen dinner. Wagamama's fan, not cheap at all. Don't know where it was from, but that looks pretty nice. I can get behind that.
Me and my flatmate are making tacos together tonight.
Taco Tuesday!
I never really get tacos. They just fall apart as soon as you put stuff in them. That's in no way related to how much it cost, but just thought I'd let you know. Side point. Broccoli or peas? I've had this debate with one of my friends before. What do you prefer? Leave a comment below. I want to know. no idea how expensive flowers are. But if you don't live in London, they just grow outside for free. Life hacks.
I'm gonna buy some Nespresso capsules because I'm out. Right. Off food. I'm gonna buy some Nespresso.
£35 on coffee. If you don't drink coffee, don't bother trying it. You'll save yourself so much money. I can't appreciate it because I'm not a coffee drinker, but that is a lot.
This week in total, I spent £110.13 on all other variable expenses.
So £110 in a week on food and other stuff. When you're a student, you can't really be spending that much. However, obviously, she has a job. She is working as a YouTuber. So you can make that, and it's not spending outside of her means. So it's not stupid. But I would say, for me personally, on an average week, maybe 40 quid, 30 quid, depending on how much I eat. And that'll be on pretty much all food related things, just like this.
Let's go through a little bit of what that sum consists of. First of all, in terms of food shopping at Waitrose, Tesco and M&S.
Waitrose, Tesco and M&S. Again, I feel like there's probably not a lot of Aldi's and Lidl's in the centre of London. But if there is, check them out. They're great.
Next, for a dangerous category in my opinion, eating out, takeaway and coffee.
Oh, right. So she spent 53 on food, which is close to reasonable. I think you could probably get away. If you already have kind of your normal stuff stocked and you're just buying fresh stuff, then probably 20, 30 quid I would probably do. But yeah, 50 quid on takeaway coffee and food. That's a lot. That's a lot. However, if you're working in cafes all day, that's pretty tempting, isn't it? So, almost excusable.
For travel, I spent a total of £6.
She must live in a very ideal location. I'm assuming that she already had money on her Oyster card before, as being able to walk everywhere must either mean she lives in an amazing place or didn't go very far this week.
For drinks and entertainment, I spent absolutely nothing. There's COVID for you.
COVID savings. Yay.
I spent 35 on espresso. I actually bought 9 packs of capsules, which is 63 capsules in total. I drink about 1.25 coffees a day.
How does she drink 1 1/4 coffees a day? How is it split? Do you have half of one and then 3/4 of one? Or 1 and then 1/4? But either way, 63 divided by 35. Where's my phone gone? Oh, here it is. I was sitting on it. So that's 55p per coffee that you have at home versus £3.50 out. So if you're going to drink coffee, make sure you do it at home.
Let's go through all the numbers again, see everything that I spent money on. So first, I spent £284.7 on bills, £10.85 on subscriptions, £110.13p on other stuff. That equals to, drumroll, £405.7 this week.
Okay, so £409 in a week. Ouch. Now, although the vast majority of that is coming from the boring stuff section, which is just all the kind of essentials, you can't really change that now. So really, it's around £120 a week of kind of optional spending, which in the grand scheme of things, given her likely income, is very reasonable, I think. But for your average student, definitely not. I think you probably need to go halves on that. So around 60 quid a week is probably what you could get away with. If we assume a 39-week term at uni, you might be less, you might go home, whatever, but 60 quid a week, that equals £2,340 for the year, which is probably less than a lot of people spend, but I think that's pretty reasonable and something that most people could do.
So what would that be in a month? If you calculate it, it would be 1,758.
To be fair, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a whole lot worse, especially because London. And it looks like she has a nice place, so I think she's probably done well.
But there are some ways you can save money, so here are some ways to kind of do that. So I actually spent
reacting to how to spend less tips.
67% of my weekly expenditure on rent. And I think if you live in a big city like London, New York, Paris, Amsterdam, you're gonna spend the majority of your budget on rent.
Life hack, don't live in a big city.
I live in walking distance from my university, which is really nice, so that's why I live in the place I do. Technically, the further out you live from zone 1, cheaper your rent will be. I'm currently working, so I have a little bit less time to cook, and I'm also like...
I feel like with her, it's justifiable eating out. It's not just for the sake of it. If you're working somewhere, you don't want to have to go all the way back to get lunch. it makes sense.
I'll just work another hour and then order takeaway. So I think a bit differently. I think it's fair when I'm working full time. Take advantage of free or almost free food options that every big city has. In London, there's a new cafe or restaurant opening like literally every single week. Always take advantage of these opportunities to get like almost free food or completely free food. About 3 weeks ago, me and my boyfriend queued for 1.5 hours to go to this poke bowl place to get literally a dinner worth of poke bowl for £1. Currently, the reason why I haven't done this week is because I think like this. I think 1.5 hours of working is worth much more than I would save if I queued for 1.5 hours. So
I like how she's kind of thought it through. She has like 650k subscribers, so it's probably doing alright. So you need to kind of place yourself in that scenario and think, is the time that it takes to either cook your meal or to, like she's saying, queue for somewhere to get something for cheap, is that time worth more than you would save? So would you make more money working in that time rather than not spending that time and then spending a little bit more money in order to get the food instead? So these are things you kind of have to consider. And obviously that'll vary from person to person, and most students, it would actually be worth it waiting or cooking in terms of money anyway.
another way I could be saving money is making lunch at home.
Yeah, life hacks at uni. Just have pesto pasta every day. I'm not a chef, but it's easy to cook and it tastes alright. Even cold.
And that's it. Rent is definitely the biggest part of my weekly expenditure, as you saw. So yeah, that's really the consequence of living in a big city like London.
So there we have it. Was it expensive? Yeah, but that's what happens when you move into a big city. And she has a job as a YouTuber, which can pay for that, and she's not doing anything crazy. So overall, I can just about give her the cheapskate stamp of approval, as it sounds like she knows what she's doing and she's really thought about her finances, which is a really good thing that everyone should be doing. If you're a student as well, then let me know how much you would spend on your average week. And perhaps check out this video here, which goes into more detail about student loans and how much you could be entitled to.